And in a way, that almost makes me think that was just an intentional thing to, like a misdirection. That's such a classic progression to alter. It's not what I'm expecting, but it still sounds like it really works. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Halloween is from the band's second studio album, Plastic Surgery Disasters, released in 1982, and it just so happens to be frontman Jello Biafra's favorite Dead Kennedys album. I heard this band for the first time earlier this year with their track Holiday in Cambodia, and the comments were pretty unanimous in saying that this album was the one to explore next, logically, in terms of the bass lines of Klaus Flouride, and it just so happens the album has a track called Halloween. And I saved it for this week, so happy Halloween to all of you. I'm also reading that this album took a pivot to a darker sound, a more hardcore sound, when compared to their debut album, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Here's Halloween from Dead Kennedys. Okay. This is a lot more playful and fun than I might have thought. You know, I remember Holiday in Cambodia kind of having this tense, kind of foreboding vibe set up in the intro with bassist Klaus Flouride, that kind of chromatic thing. And I'm reading here that this is a darker, more hardcore album. And I'm sure that might be true for the rest, but this is kind of almost has a bluesy take on it. And I love how strongly the song's groove was prescribed all by the bass, just by itself in that intro. A lot of syncopation. Dun, 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 dun. Kind of makes you move really quickly. Sounds like we're down here in G. Let's hear that again. Yeah, just kind of three notes rotating. Kind of implying that G blues or G pentatonic. Okay, see where it goes. I like that guitar lead. It's kind of... Yeah, it gets a little weird here. It almost sounds like it's slightly out of tune or just bent a little bit. I mean, just the discomfort maybe suggested by the subject matter, Halloween. But it almost has that surf rock quality that's a familiar sound to me based on what I grew up on. Okay, I'm going to go back here and let it go for a bit. Let's see where we go. This guitar part. The screaming, that's cool. This is fun, okay. Okay, I said G, it's really in C and just going down to the fifth. So it's really one, or it has the 12-bar blues structure. They're just, the bass line's kind of dancing around and threw me off a bit. I thought it was kind of maybe more G-based, but really C's the tonic. Okay, I'm kind of seeing the picture come into view now. I never expected to hear this kind of fun party vibe, like 50s, 60s kind of sound from Dead Kennedys based on what little I know, but what I've heard so far. This is actually really fun. I remember commenting in the last video that I did not like Jello's vocals very much, or that they just were, I'd had an acquired taste. I could tell right off the bat it was going to be a thing for me. He's got some texture here. It's a bit more energetic. I like the vocals a lot more. I could get behind this now. Okay. I mean, they're really outlining the 1-4-5 progression. It's okay. I just didn't expect this. interesting. Well, there's that guitar lead. Okay, what's interesting is, I've talked about this 12-bar blues thing, 1, 4, 5 in a major key, we're in C. Technically, the 5 chord, they should go up to G. My ear is just dying to hear that 5 chord, and they're not doing it. It's implied, but it's not there. It's kind of like they're going to the 4 extended. So what I'm talking about, 12-bar blues, is up to the 4, back to the 1, then briefly to the 5, and then back to the 1. So what they're doing is they're almost going to that 5 chord. My ear wants it to go back to the 1, but they're not doing the 5 chord, they're just going to the 4. And in a way, that almost makes me think that was just an intentional thing to, like a misdirection. Rejecting conformity, I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking of what I was just reading. Is that's such a classic progression to alter? And it's kind of cool that they are. It's not what I'm expecting, but it still sounds like it really works.
It's the only time all year you'll ever admit that.
Should be the 5.
I can see your eyes, I can see your brain, then enough has changed.
They're doing 4 down to 3, I guess flat 3. Because technically a 12-bar blues in a major key, but they're going to that flat major 3. I don't know, the structure's really unique. For one, I didn't expect this sound from Dead Kennedys. I like this a lot. And 2, they're just kind of changing a really classic chord progression. I like it.
I can see your eyes, I can see your brain, then enough has changed. Because you're hiding in a mask. Take your fun seriously. No, don't blow this distress. Tomorrow, your bones go back on. After Halloween.
Oh, it's getting a little squirrely. Okay, heard a B flat, and then a bit of a kind of a gurgle bass riff I talk about. Just some moving under the chord changes going between point A and point B. I want to go back and hear that. I don't know if that would be considered an out-of-key chord, just maybe how my ears are hearing it. Yeah, a lot of deviation here from where we've been. B flat. So we have kind of slide in half steps there. Adding some more movement because Klaus has been really locked into that classic groove. Okay. Listen to the guitar lead here. You can tell some of those notes are a little out, probably intentional, just again to kind of create a bit of tension. I kind of like this marriage between this really familiar, danceable, bluesy sound, and then you have this guitar lead coming in that almost has this sinister quality to it. And I like that the guitar lead almost sounds like it's going to fall off the rails at any minute. It's just this abrasive layer that kind of taints the fun spirit of the song. And I've learned a lot about this band reading your comments, that they really just were the obvious antithesis of a lot of things. So kind of going into this video, I'm looking out for that stuff, and I kind of see it from my limited knowledge kind of showing up in the music, just in the way that guitar lead. Listen to the notes right here. You could tell they're just, they're meant to be sort of dissonant. Next part. That's cool to me.
We're gonna You'll write about it for months. Remember what I did, remember what I was back on Halloween. But what's in between? Where are your ideas? You sit around and dream for next
Whoa.
Halloween.
They gave me the 5 chord. They made me wait for it. 2 minutes, over 2 minutes in. Okay, now I know this was really intentional. Just to alter that classic progression. I'm getting really hung up on it because some of the first bass lines I ever tackled when I first got a bass was 12-bar blues. I mean, that progression was just so beaten into my head. And I love that. Just my ear wanted to go there. They wait and gave me the 5 chord. I like the songwriting on it. It's adventurous. Right there. That's what I've been wanting to hear this whole time.
Remember what I did, remember what I was back on Halloween. But what's in between? Where are your ideas?
Okay, then they went somewhere right here.
And dream for next Halloween. Why not every day like a so I pray? What will people say? Why not every
For a brief second, they moved down and did the 12-bar blues kind of arpeggio. They did an E flat, which is an out-of-key note technically here in the chord. So nice little accidental thrown in for some different color. I feel like this might go a million different directions. They've kind of teased some things like this. Let's see.
Why not every day like a so I pray? What will people say? Why not every day like a so I pray? What will people say? After Halloween. After Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
After Halloween. Because your role is planned for you. There's nothing you can do but stop and think it through. But what will the boss say to you? And what will your girlfriend say?
Bass is getting a little movie here with some octaves.
Will the boss say to you?
Sounds like a big multi-string jump. Those little octaves or upper extensions poking out there. Maybe a 10. Minor third up there. Maybe even the 11th.
The boss say to you? And what will your girlfriend say to you? And the people out on the street, they might glare at you. And what do you do?
Ooh, I like that.
You're self-conscious too. So
Here we are again. I feel like I'm arrive at this point every video. The last 30 seconds of the song is when you get the real treasure from the bass player, the bass performance. Happens a lot. And it's the thing, I always make this joke with myself when I hear this. It's like the things the bassist wanted to do in the song. Maybe it was too much or it just didn't make sense. You save it for the end. And it's kind of like a delayed release. I like that. Heard a really kind of gurgly fill here coming down off this chord. Just almost kind of mirroring the guitar articulation. Sounds like he's kind of doing that here at the end just to put some momentum behind the root note, which we're on C now. And I haven't talked about this A major chord, how it kind of functions in the song. We're in C major, which is sort of C mixolydian, F mixolydian, G mixolydian. It's all flat 7 based in a 12-bar blues. Throwing in the flat major 3 with the E flat. But not to get in the weeds on that, the A major is really interesting because it's, the 6th chord, a minor. The 6th chord in a major key is technically minor. That would be A minor. They're leaning a lot on this A major here, kind of this sound. So I like the flavor it adds to everything. Okay, I heard up your ass or something. I had to pull up the lyrics. I rarely ever do this. It says, why don't you take your social regulations? Just shove them up your ass. Okay, and earlier, it kind of sounded like Happy Halloween. I wasn't sure. It says after Halloween in the context of, why not every day? Are you so afraid? What will people say after Halloween? After the costume comes off? And just skimming the lyrics a bit, I really like the kind of vehicle they're using here with Halloween costumes, but it really reflects a deeper narrative about social constructs and a societal issue, if you will. Remember what I did, remember what I was back on Halloween. Because you're still hiding in a mask, take your fun seriously. Don't blow this year's chance. Tomorrow your mold goes back on after Halloween. Really like that. I'm curious how this fits into the larger narrative in terms of subject matter with this album. But nonetheless, let's get to the music. That's what I'm always here for. But I had to look this up. My favorite thing about this song was that they took a really cliche, predictable progression and just butchered it in their way. Now, butcher, that's a negative term. I don't really mean that. I like that they kind of changed it. Where I thought the song was going to go, it didn't. It felt predictable at first, then it wasn't. That's really cool. They took the 1-4-5 progression. I use the term blues loosely. It's kind of referred to as a 12-bar blues, but let's just call it a 1-4-5 progression. Millions of songs use this. I like that they didn't put chords in the right order. They saved some for later, referring to the 5 chord. But we're in C major. Technically a 12-bar blues or a 1-4-5. Usually leans on the Mixolydian sound. Flat 7 on all the chords. But then they threw in the flat major 3 on the E flat, giving it kind of the minor inflection. Then we had the major 6 chord thrown in with the flat major 7. Not to get too nerdy, but it just took a sound I was expecting and flipped it on its head. And it pairs nicely with these lyrics and kind of the theme I'm reading. But that was a fun one. Happy Halloween. This album's definitely going to go on the poll over on Patreon. So if you'd like to support the channel further, come find us over there, patreon.com/LowenUniversity. We do full albums every month, and I get into this nitty-gritty stuff, and it's just such a blast. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel out. I love you all. We'll see you next time.